everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Alyssa Harris. I'm a vocalist, a vocal coach, and I'm just on here sharing some information, some tips and tricks, and trying to answer some of you guys' questions, talking about all things singing, being a singer, a performer, a songwriter, a vocalist, anything of that nature we are on this channel to talk about, and it's super fun. I love today's video because we're talking about eating and singing, and quite frankly, I love to eat. So, I mean, I'm just saying, today's video is, it's right up my alley. We're going to be talking about eating and singing. Should I eat before I sing? Is it bad to sing on a full stomach? What food should I avoid? Am I going to be on stage hiccuping and burping and getting acid reflux? Like all of those things, all those questions that you may have had in this video, we're going to be talking about that. So without further ado, let's just jump right in. Okay, so like I said, for me, this is really tough because I know what I'm supposed to do, right? I know the rules. I know, I know that I shouldn't be singing on a full stomach. I know that I don't need to go have a full Thanksgiving meal and then get on stage and, belt my face off. But I'm gonna let you know I've done it. I'm gonna let you know I've done it. There has been potlucks during Christmas or Thanksgiving where I'm in a show and in the middle of the show, at intermission, we will have we'll literally have a feast. People will bring in food and I will be sitting there shoveling food in, knowing I've got to be on stage in 10 minutes to go sing, and I'm just I can't. I'm greedy. I love to eat, whatever. But is that right? No, that's not. It's not right. It's probably not a good idea. I would say to each their own, because if you can do it, right? If you can, sing on a full stomach, more power to you. But I'm gonna say I don't recommend it because, like I said before, you're gonna hiccup, you're gonna burp on stage, and you're going to feel probably really heavy. I don't know if you guys have ever done that before and kind of felt the difference. It feels like there's a lot of food just right here, and it makes sense, right? Because we always talk about breath support and breathing and and posture, right? And so when you get on stage and you're trying to engage posture and all the breath support and all that, but you have a huge full stomach and you're bloated and you just ate, it's going to be really, really hard to engage proper posture and proper support and a proper stance when you're just oh, I'm so full. Like I said, I'm not perfect. I've done it before because, desperate times, right? But to my singers out there, I'm going to say don't do that. But what I'm going to say instead is you should eat, on the other hand of this, you should eat a big meal, a big nourishing meal. Let's say you have a show in 2 hours and it's high energy, you're gonna need food for that. Do not feel like you can't eat for hours. Let your food settle, right? Let it digest. Okay, of course I'm saying all this. I'm not a doctor. This is just common knowledge, everybody knows that you should let your food settle, but especially in singing, right? Because so much of our work that we're doing is happening here in our stomach. Well, it feels like our stomach, but our torso, right? And so, yeah, I wouldn't recommend having a huge meal right before singing, but I would recommend having a huge meal and waiting an hour and a half before you have to sing, before you're going to go do a show, because you will have so much energy. I notice I perform so much better when my stomach is full and I'm not focused on how hungry I am. So with that said, do absolutely eat, but just don't eat too soon before you have to sing. In terms of acid reflux and heartburn and that kind of thing, everybody's different. I've only really experienced heartburn once or twice, and I don't really know what caused it. I've never experienced acid reflux, but I do know that a lot of singers, they recommend that they stay away from spicy foods and acidic things. I mean, those things, like I said, that's kind of trial and error. Everybody's different with that, but certain things that are real spicy, real acidic, like tomato kind of based, can cause acid reflux, which does create that burning sensation, and it does affect your singing and it affects your voice. So really be careful with what types of foods that you are eating before you go to sing in that 2-hour window. Okay. The next thing I'm gonna say is, this is a thing I hear all the time. This is super common among singers, and I really want to say, I really think this is a myth. I'm sorry, this is a hot take. I think this is a myth because, well, it's not a myth, because I think, scientifically, like they say dairy does create mucus, right? And like, okay, don't come for me in the comments, okay? I'm not a doctor, I'm not a holistic, I'm not none of that kind of stuff. I can only just speak from like my experience. And I know that dairy does cause mucus in the body and, in the voice. So a lot of singers do say, stay away from dairy, but I say just trial and error it on your own, right? Because some people aren't as affected by dairy. Some people are only affected by dairy if they eat it in that 2-hour window that I was talking about. So like I said, do your own trial and error, but definitely don't step on stage feeling like, oh my gosh, I just walked away from Thanksgiving dinner and I am so full, because you're not going to perform very well if you do that. The next thing I wanted to talk about, which was kind of in addition to like foods to avoid or foods not to eat before you have to sing, is also like things to avoid in terms of like beverages, right? So obviously avoid alcohol before you have to sing, because alcohol dries out your voice. So I know drinking is a big thing. Like, for example, when we play at weddings, there's always an open bar and stuff. So a lot of times, like, oh, like I want to get a drink, or like some of the people I work with, like they'll want to go get a drink, and that's great and that's fine. But I know for me, like it really dries my voice out. And like if I'll have like, especially stuff like red wine, like wines, for some reason, I think they say like the tannins in it is what makes it like really drying on your vocal cords. And so if you're not hydrating properly, you drink the red wine and the next day, like it's very, very difficult to sing. So obviously alcohol, stay away from that. I find that like, okay, lemon water is really great, and you guys will see this in my lemon water tea video, but lemon water is great, but I do feel like if I drink too much of it, it does dry my voice out. Lemon is a diuretic, like naturally, so that means it will like dehydrate you a little bit. And so I do avoid like too much lemon water before I go to sing. I would recommend something like cucumber water, and that's really, really nice to like just put in your water instead of lemon. But yeah, other than that, there's not some big secret about singing before eating. It's really just a matter of personal preference. Like I would say, rule of thumb, singing on a full, on a full stomach is going to affect your technique, your posture, and your breathing. So I wouldn't recommend eating right before you have to sing. Even if it's something small, it does kind of affect, everything. So I would say avoid that if you can. And like, as a side note, I had a student who told me every time she eats red meat, like right before, like she'll eat like a steak, and she'll like go to sing like in an hour, and she's like, I sing so amazing, like it just really helps me, and which is crazy because I'm like, I don't eat meat, and I feel like if I were to eat meat, like I would not sing as well. So again, everybody is different, you know what I'm saying? And so I really recommend trialing and erroring it when it comes to the specific like types of foods that you eat and that affect your voice. And in addition to the beverages thing, I would say, like I said, alcohol, too much lemon in your lemon water. Also coffee and tea. Be really careful about coffee and tea. I know tea is like the go-to. People are always like, oh, tea is like a singer's best friend. And that may be true because it's very nice to have something warm on the voice, right? Something warm on your vocal cords in the morning, or 2 hours or an hour or 30 minutes before you have to sing is amazing. But be really careful with tea because it also can be very drying, okay? Just like coffee, very drying. So careful of those things before you go to sing. It's less about the food. I would really even say the drinks are kind of what to really look out for. Let me know if you have any questions. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I have a lot more information, a lot more resources for you guys, for all my singer friends out there. Hit me up in the comments if you have any more questions or if there's anything else that you want me to talk about or expand upon. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Let me know what you thought about it in the comments. If you liked it, go ahead and hit the like button and subscribe, turn on the notification bell so you always know when I upload new videos. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much, and I will see you in the next one.